this special broadcast on digital transformation for sustainability. India, like other United Nations member states, is committed to achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the UN by 2030. These goals relate to poverty and hunger eradication and providing universal quality healthcare and education, among others. In India, Digital India, a flagship scheme of the Government of India, is being implemented to take digital services to rural India, bridge the rural-urban digital divide and ensure electronic delivery of services. As the number of active users of internet rise in rural and urban India and number of people with smartphones increase, the digital economy's share in India's GDP is projected to go up to 50% by 2030. TERI, the Energy and Resources Institute, is organizing an international conference in New Delhi on digital landscape in early November on the theme Digital Transformation for an Agile Environment. With technological interventions taking place in various sectors of the economy, the question that we are asking today is India leveraging digital technology to spur its growth? To discuss that, we are joined by Director General of TERI, Dr. Ajay Mathur, and CEO of Prasar Bharati, Shashi Shekhar Vempati, who has considerable experience in the digital world. I welcome you both to this special broadcast. I'll begin with you, Dr. Mathur. We are now in the run-up of the 6th edition of the International Conference on Digital Landscape. How productive were the first 5 editions, and what does the 6th edition seek to achieve?
The International Conference on Digital Landscapes is held every 3 years and focuses on bringing together both the providers of digital services as well as the users of digital services. It has focused traditionally on ways in which digital information can be made available more easily. क्योंकि आखिर में अगर हम लोग डिजिटल पे जाते हैं तो सबसे पहला फायदा ये होता है कि आसानी से इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाती है, जल्दी से इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाती है और काम आपका, अगर आप बैंक जाना हो, पोस्ट ऑफिस जाना हो, वो काम जल्दी हो जाता है। लेकिन ये कैसे लोगों तक पहुंचाएं, क्या पहुंचाएं? पहले 5 एडिशन जो थे इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के, उन्होंने इसके ऊपर फोकस किया था। इसके मारे कई सारे रिकमेंडेशंस आए, खास तौर से डिजिटल लाइब्रेरीज के ऊपर मेंटेन कैसे करें ये इंफॉर्मेशन, उसकी सिक्योरिटी, साइबर सिक्योरिटी कैसे मेंटेन करें, उनको लोगों तक पहुंचाएं और उसकी इंटीग्रिटी को मेंटेन करें। अधिकतर डिस्कशन इस पे हुआ, लेकिन जो एक चीज हम लोगों ने और देखी कि इसके साथ साथ साइट्स पे लोग बात करते थे, पार्टनरशिप्स बनाते थे। क्योंकि एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो डिजिटल सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, दूसरा है जो उसको यूज कर रहा है। मैंने सुना, मैंने देखा कि ये तो बहुत बढ़िया चीज है और मैंने जाकर उनसे बात करी। तो ये पार्टनरशिप्स करके नए मेथड्स बनाने के, नए एप्लीकेशंस बनाने के जो एग्जांपल्स हैं, ये काफी बड़े हद तक इस कॉन्फ्रेंस की एक देन रही है।
Fair enough. So it is really a platform for ideation, for networking, for partnerships, etc. Mr. Vempati, you have considerable experience in the digital world. Can digital transformation be achieved without digital inclusion? And how do you see the impact of Digital India, which seeks to make India a digitally inclusive society?
See, the very nature of this medium, digital medium, is inclusive. And let me explain what I mean by that. If you look at the kinds of platforms that have emerged in recent times, be it social media platforms, be it the World Wide Web, it has sort of universalized access to information. So once you get on the internet, once you have the ability to access the internet, there are no barriers, there are no hierarchies. All information is equally available and accessible to everyone, right? And in a sense, the digital platforms have also disintermediated a lot of middlemen who were traditionally, acting as gatekeepers to access information or to access services. So in that sense, digital by its very nature is inclusive, and hence digital transformation hence logically implies that it has inclusion built into it, and it takes access to information, access to services in a very universal sense to every part of the country, every segment, every strata of society.
Absolutely. And there are also 17 Sustainable Development Goals that were adopted in 2015. They are to be achieved by the international community by 2030. India too is aiming to achieve those goals. Dr. Mathur, these goals relate to how the international community has committed to addressing various challenges, be them environmental challenges or social or economic challenges. How much can technological disruption or digital technology really help address those challenges?
Digital intermediation, as Mr. Empathy mentioned, is a key to ensuring that these services are available to everybody easily and inexpensively. So whether you're talking of education or health, we have started seeing information being made available digitally. अब छोटी सी चीज देखिए कि अगर किसी प्राइमरी हेल्थ केयर सेंटर में क्या सर्विसेज अवेलेबल है और वहां पर कौन डॉक्टर्स अवेलेबल है, यहां से शुरू करिए। एग्रीकल्चर के क्षेत्र में अब बहुत सारे एप्स आ गए हैं जो कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे बताते हैं कि कल का मौसम क्या होगा, इस सीजन में बारिश होएगी तो क्या चीज ग्रो करें, कब उसकी बुआई करें, कब उसमें फर्टिलाइजर डालें।
ये मैसेजेस फोन पर आ जाते हैं,
ये मैसेजेस फोन पे आ जाते हैं। तो इसके मारे जिस तरह से हम अपने सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स को मिलेंगे, आपके दूरदर्शन पे ही अब इतने सारे एड्स आने लगे हैं जो कि बताते हैं कि किस प्रकार से एजुकेशन में डिजिटली आप स्कूल को रीइंफोर्स कर सकते हैं। ये एक बहुत बड़ा स्टेप है। पहले हम लोग क्या करते थे, हम लोग को ट्यूटर चाहिए होता था। ये सस्ता भी है, ये इंक्लूसिव भी है और ये इजीली एक्सेसिबल भी है। अब आप चाहे पॉवर्टी के क्षेत्र में देखें, चाहे वाटर में, चाहे एनर्जी में, चाहे एजुकेशन में, इस प्रकार के जो इंक्लूसिविटी और प्राइस रिडक्शन जो पॉसिबल है, वो हमारे देश में डिजिटल के माध्यम से ही मिल सकता है।
जी, पर हम देख रहे हैं, अगर हम कृषि की ही बात करें तो इजराइल में जैसे ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, सेंसर टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा है कि ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग की तरफ बढ़िए, केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स को छोड़ें धीरे धीरे करके। तो क्या आपको लगता है कि डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी फार्मिंग में एक और बड़े स्केल में भारत में इस्तेमाल हो सकती है?
मैंने अपने अनुमान से, अपने एक्सपीरियंस से इसके 3 लेवल बनाए हैं कि किस प्रकार से डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी हमारी जिंदगी में आती है। पहली तो ये है कि हमारे पास कोई डिजिटल माध्यम आ गया, जैसे कि फोन है, अब हमें इंफॉर्मेशन आसानी से मिल जाती है, पर वो वन वे है। तो अगर आप देखें इससे क्या होता है, समय की बचत होती है, पैसे की बचत होती है। अमेज़न पे आप हजारों चीजें देख सकते हैं, आपको हजारों दुकान पे जाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। दूसरा होता है, जब आप बहुत सारे लोग जब कनेक्ट हो जाते हैं तो उसके मारे क्राउड सोर्सिंग के मारे इंफॉर्मेशन होती है। जैसे आप गूगल मैप्स को देखिए, उसमें अब लाल लाइन आ जाती है जो सड़कें बिजी हैं। वो इसलिए है क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग हैं। हमारे देश का यही सबसे बड़ा एक फायदा है, हमारे यहाँ लोग हैं, तो इस तरह से आप इंफॉर्मेशन को और नॉलेज की क्राउड सोर्सिंग कर सकते हैं। तीसरा तब आता है जब इसके चारों तरफ बिजनेस मॉडल बन जाते हैं। तो जब मैं एक सर्विस आपको प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूं जो कि इसके माध्यम पे है, अब आप देखिए जैसे ये ट्विटर है, आपने कुछ करा, मैं उसका जवाब दे सकता हूं, तो इंटरैक्टिव हो गया। तो इस प्रकार से डिजिटल का देश में और हमारी जिंदगी में एंट्रेंस होता है, 1, 2, 3। अगर आप देखें कि कृषि के क्षेत्र में और हेल्थ के क्षेत्र में हम लोगों ने पहला लेवल एक तरह से क्रॉस कर लिया है।
ओके।
बहुत सारे लोगों के पास फोन है।
That's after the green revolution.
ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के बाद, और दूसरा एक जो हम लोगों के डिजिटल इंडिया का चल रहा है, उसके साथ साथ लोगों के पास फोन है, लोगों के पास कनेक्शन है। हम लोगों ने बात करी थी उन एप्स की जो आपके फोन पे बता देते हैं कि कब वर्षा होगी, कब बीज बोने का समय। अब जो तीसरा मेरे ख्याल से वो आएगा, वो अब ये आएगा कि मैं अब क्या ग्रो करूं, उसको जब ग्रो करूं तो फिर उसमें किस वक्त खाद डालूं। आपने बात करी कि क्वालिटी ऑफ लैंड की, कि इसमें मैं किस समय फॉस्फेट डालूं, किस समय यूरिया डालूं। अब मेरे पास ये हथियार हैं कि किस प्रकार से मैं खेती में पूरी profit कमा सकता हूं।
Okay, so you are saying that with the help of technological disruptions, one can really move to the next generation of agriculture in India and beyond. Mr. Vempati, if you look at this situation now, then in terms of hunger, there are around 800 million people in the world who suffer from hunger today. If this is going to be business as usual, then by 2030 we'll have 8% of the global population that will still be hungry. So clearly there's a need to increase production here while taking care of the other challenges that are there of population growth as well as climate change. Do you expect India to be, part of that international community with time that has embraced technology for greater production, productivity, and are moving to really the next stage or the generation next in the agriculture sector?
Absolutely. I think this change is already happening. If I can, take from where he left off in terms of, the impact of digital on agriculture. Just look at what we are doing in Prasar Bharati, right? You had this program Krishi Darshan, which was historically on DD. Now it has a completely new afterlife on digital, and you would be surprised to know that Krishi Darshan Ranchi, which is one of our YouTube channels, has tremendous traffic. DD Kisan, which has been in existence now for 3-4 years, its YouTube channel is one of our top 5 YouTube channels, and I'm very surprised at the kind of audience for content, digital content around agriculture and farming and gardening. It is just mind-blowing. And so what is happening now is that a whole new generation which is now coming into farming is digitally savvy, is having access to information without barriers. So you could have a best practice coming from some village in Madhya Pradesh, and that could be accessed by someone in the northeast and vice versa. So this exchange of information, best practices, is bound to have an impact on productivity and overall well-being of the farmer. One of the goals that the Prime Minister has set is that we will try double farm incomes by 2020. So this larger question of hunger will only get addressed when our productivity goes up, and for our productivity to go up, our farmers have to be efficient, they have to be viable, and they have to have access to the latest information and the latest methods and practices. So I think digital is an enabler in all three of these dimensions, which will eventually ensure not only their incomes go up, but we become a very productive nation, which addresses this larger question of hunger and access to nutrition and so on.
Okay. Now in the water sector, Dr. Mathur, can we expect technological disruptions or digitalization to bring about reforms in our water utilities to change the very way in which water is regulated and distributed?
Today, approximately 80% of the water in India is used in agriculture. Approximately 12% or so is used in industry, and 7 or 8% is used in homes. There is huge losses and inefficiencies in all the sectors. It surprised me when I first came to know about it that we actually don't even know how much water is supplied, how much water is lost in leakage during the process of being moved from, say, the canal or the lake to a farm or to my home. The first thing is digital allows real-time measurement of water, and we know how much water is going from where. Karnataka, for example, has very successfully applied it to the irrigation area. Now, in Delhi, we see the expectation is that something like 1/3 to 40% of the water is lost in leakage. Where does this leakage occur? A similar digital transformation can help us first plug the leaks. But the second is it can help us balance supply and demand. So, for example, in Delhi, water is typically supplied 2 hours to 4 hours in a day. But if we are able to match supply and demand, this could turn into a 24/7 water supply system. What does it take? It takes the information that is needed to balance these two sides. So real-time information can help that balancing to occur. My belief is that with the digital disruption, this is not far away.
What's the kind of impact, Mr. Vempati, you think that digital technology can really make in the water sphere, because we know the kind of premium that is now being given by the government to water conservation, water harvesting. I remember the Prime Minister saying in New York at the Bloomberg Forum that the world thinks that water is the new oil. I think that it's the new gold. So that's the kind of premium that is being given to water conservation by this government. What's the scope insofar as digitalization is concerned?
See, a lot of the focus on digital, largely in the public domain, has been around, content and applications surrounding people. But I think the bigger story of how these technologies will be used, especially in areas like water conservation, will be the Internet of Things. You have a whole generation of sensors which have emerged. These sensors are smart. They operate in extreme conditions as well, and they can be networked, so they can talk to each other. They can provide data and insights. And the new oil or the new gold that you are referring to is really the data that would emerge from all these sensors, the Internet of Things, which you can then analyze in real time, learn from it. What are the patterns of consumption? What are the patterns of leakages? Where are the losses occurring? And the ability to take real time action so that you close that feedback loop. So it's not just enough to look at what is happening, but learn from that and then take what is the relevant necessary action. So this is what is going to really help in achieving goals around water conservation, be it climate change, and ultimately making it a better planet for all of us.
And how can technology be leveraged digitally, Dr. Mathur, for telemedicine and teleeducation? The government is emphasizing a lot on distance learning and also on distance health or telemedicine in a manner. We are already seeing a lot of startups in the space of health particularly. There's a lot of investment taking place. India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. 8% of Indian startups are related to healthcare. A lot of investment coming in this sphere. So what is it that digital technology and disruptions can really do to make healthcare and education more accessible, affordable, while retaining good quality?
One of the things that we have learned through centuries of providing education is that good students help poorer students pull them up. Digital allows us a very strong means to bring together a group of students who can learn together, where one student pulls up the other student. Now, a lot of the health based startups that are occurring in India are based around, well, they're based on two things. One is newer formulations, but the second is around the provision of these formulations, many a times through digital media. But the greatest advance in telemedicine has been the fact of having, in a sense, quote unquote, a doctor on call. And consequently, if I am at a place where a doctor is not easily available, or I want to have access to a particular kind of medical expertise, it's very easy for me to do so. That's one part. The second part is that for doctors, what we are seeing in hospitals is that if there are doctors who are, for example, doing a surgery of some kind for the first time, they can be coached, their hands can be held by people in other hospitals, doctors in other hospitals who have done that kind of procedure many, many times. This helps bring down the mortality rate, and it helps bring medical help services to places where they were not available earlier.
Okay, so that's about telemedicine and teleeducation. But if you look at Smart Industry 4.0, then Mr. Vempati, we are already entering the fourth industrial revolution. Do you think that now all sectors of the economy, including the industry, need to focus on ensuring that there is skilled workforce? Because as per a report, just 11% business leaders across the world really think that they have the right kind of workforce which is skilled for their businesses. How can that change? How can skills be developed, and how can people adapt to technological changes in their workplaces?
Absolutely, I think it's a very important question. Let me just add one point on the telemedicine aspect. I think the way digital is going to impact health sector, apart from telemedicine and patient care, is on the research and development side, which has generally been historically a very long and very intensive investment cycle. Right now, with technologies like artificial intelligence, the ability to learn from patient data over a large population can drastically bring out bring down the cycle time, and you can detect patterns. So your whole drug discovery can get accelerated much faster. So you can bring out better drugs, targeted drugs at a much cheaper and lower cost. So that will be the hidden impact of digital on health sector, apart from the the direct impact from a patient standpoint. Now coming to your other question on skill sets and learning, I think one of the key challenges of this era is that you will not have defined job career paths. Technology will keep changing fast, so you have to constantly upgrade your skills, especially in the context of the fourth industrial revolution that we are speaking about. So skilling digitally becomes extremely important, and the internet has also made it possible for you to learn skills in a much easier way across borders, across continents. Today, for example, you can go to Coursera and sign up for a course on artificial intelligence and get trained by one of the best professors in some Western university sitting in India. Right? It's possible. In fact, I actually did that exercise once, where I could go on the YouTube channels of Stanford University, MIT, and look up the lectures of all these professors. So in a sense, acquiring new skills has become much easier and much faster, and with the ability to develop artificial intelligence based assessment techniques, you can not only learn new things, but you can also assess yourself much better. So your coaching and mentoring can become extremely targeted, so that the artificial intelligence bot knows exactly who you are, knows your strengths, knows your weaknesses, and focuses this whole skilling program around that, so that you improve faster.
Okay.
Right? So all of these potential exists for all of these possibilities.
Okay, Dr. Mathur, are we already seeing the Indian education system tailoring itself to the technological needs of what is required really in future in terms of education for the next generation education system?
Much too slowly. We are seeing applications happening at various places, but I'd like to expand on what Mr. Vempati said. The great advantage that India has is the very large number of digital users today and digital users tomorrow. This allows us to learn. The point on artificial intelligence is extremely important because the base that we have for learning is very large. Now in education, you're taking the big base on the one side and my own needs on the other side. This matching is only beginning to happen as we go ahead. So we are beginning to see it, for example, in some areas in industry where robots are used. There is now a global availability of information on how robots work. There is an knowledge about how individual workers handle robots, and bringing the two knowledge pieces together, we are seeing that in some companies in India, training is being provided by bringing these two together. But as I said, it's still the exception. We need to enhance the delivery of these services across the country.
Okay. Now, Mr. Vempati, a lot of investment will need to take place, isn't it, for these technological disruptions to show across sectors, from the government, from the private sector, as well as via PPP and venture capitalists? Because I was reading that as per FAO or FAO, just to end hunger by 2030, an investment of $265 billion by the world is required. So we are looking at a lot of funding requirements in order to, go to the next generation infrastructure.
Absolutely, and I think this will have to happen, as you rightly pointed out, both from public and private efforts. The interesting thing is that as more and more societies become democratic, the people are far more informed, thanks to the internet, thanks to the digital media. As a result, politics, the nature of politics is also changing. People are more demanding. There's far more awareness about sustainable development, sustainability goals. And these are finding their way into the electoral discourses. So, for example, who would have thought, climate change will become a political issue, a hot button political issue, and it is in various nations that is happening right now, right? So this will not only spur public investments in this direction. There is also another move that is happening, an interesting move in the last few months that I've been reading in various international financial newspapers, that capitalism is now trying to find a cause, a purpose. Right, because there is this backlash that has happened where large corporates have been found wanting on their social responsibilities. So now it is not just about shareholders and profit, but it is also about what is the larger purpose of a corporation, what is its social goals, right? And this thinking is now, permeating the large Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies and the CEOs, right? So you have both on the public side thrust where issues of sustainability are finding mainstream course, as well as the private sector. There is a social consciousness which has now become a dominant theme. So I think both of these will converge towards making this kind of investment possible.
So mindset in large corporations is changing towards embracing social responsibility. Well, thank you, Dr. Mathur and Mr. Vempati, for having joined us on this special broadcast. So technological disruptions are underway across economic and social sectors in India. What's needed is to scale them up, skill workforce across sectors so that they can adapt and make technological innovations drive growth across sectors as well. That's it then in the special broadcast, Digital Transformation for Sustainability. Thanks for watching.